man. Hello? If everybody who's staying for the trustees meeting wants to get ready, any kids can go with Mary, and she'll take them over to the nursery. I can't do that here. Yeah, if you want to. I was going to say, I can't do that here.
Hello? We're going to go ahead and get started with the trustees presentation. If there are kids who want to not listen to it and go into the nursery and they're done with their food, I'd be happy to take them and they can hang out in there.
I'm coming with you.
Joe may or may not be in there with us.
Waiting to see if we're good. Scott. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is a meeting to give a quick update about what we are doing with the Harding Grant, the monies that we received late last year. I know we had a meeting up in Fellowship Hall, I think last spring or so. So this is just an update on what we're doing, what the progress is on the projects we have. If I can get my phone to work. And I know this is going to be hard to read. I'll try to read it for everybody. But like I stated back in March or April, whenever we had this meeting, or whenever we had this presentation last, the purpose of the whole project is to update this space for ease of use and the potential to be able to do more with the space we have available. We found in the past that we were kind of restricted up here, especially on the altar, so this will open up a lot more space to make it more easily accessible for future things. And also, besides this room, we have a lot of spaces in the building itself that are underutilized, so we're trying to repurpose a lot of rooms, things like that, for better utilization of all the spaces that we have. And ultimately, we'll prepare the church for the future. Sorry, I'm trying to go with my phone. First thing on our list was ceiling repairs. Now we're finally in here so we can actually point out everything that's going on with the ceiling. That's why we had this last one up in Fellowship Hall, so people wouldn't see everything that was wrong with the ceiling. But there are a lot of damage that we have since gotten taken care of, or that will be taken care of. We got the roof replaced last year with the grant, and if you look around, there's a lot of pieces of ceiling missing. A lot of the molding around the top is missing. Up in the balcony especially, there's a big spot where water leaked through late last year. So with this project, all of this will be repaired and will be repainted. It'll be about the same color as it is, just ceiling white. And then the biggest thing that we're excited about is the speaker right above us is going to be finally removed. So we won't have to look at that anymore, because it has not worked in probably 10, 15, 20 years. And then just some pictures of a couple of the things that were going on with the ceiling. If I can get my phone to work. There we go. And then the next part in this room is the sanctuary flooring here. Excuse me. All the flooring that underneath the pews and all the carpeting, everything would be taken up. And our plan currently is we're still finalizing details, things like that. Our plan is to do the entire floor of the main area with polished concrete. And then that would include under the carpeting areas, because we are going to recarpet this, and the new carpeting will better match the flooring that we will have underneath all the pews. Let me see. And also, this would also, once we move all the pews and everything, we would remove 1 to 2 pews on each side just for easier access in between all the pews. Because right now, as Stephen has pointed out a couple times in our meetings, especially the handicap spots a couple rows back, it's hard for people to feel like if there's somebody in a wheelchair, it's hard for them to feel like they're sitting with a family because they're pushed back into the next row. So that would be alleviated, so we'd get rid of a pew or 2 on each side to take care of that, and a little bit easier to get in and out of the pews for everybody. Get to my next slide. All right, and then, excuse me, and then the chancel area, so up here, our plan is, this is still a work in progress, same thing with the flooring out there, is replace and update every bit of flooring up here. Carpeting will be removed, and I can't remember if we decided on this. We're either doing hardwood or LVT flooring. We haven't decided it, right? Okay, so we haven't decided 100% what we're doing. We're trying to get best options from a couple different contractors that we've asked to quote this out. Also, the carpeting on the steps will be removed, either replaced with carpeting, or we'll keep the woodwork under there and have it milled for continuity. I know from Katie saying the choir members just want 1 solid piece up there. They don't want a piece of carpeting that people could possibly trip over, so that would be taken care of with that. And the hardwood or LVT flooring, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to move this altar, but it is very heavy and hard to move on the carpeting. So with that, it will be a lot easier to move that, and especially the organ console and everything else we have on wheels back here. And then also these existing walls, so these walls, one and then the other one on the other side, the plan currently, I think Scott mentioned this to me the other day, is that we'll actually hinge them. So they'll still be in place there. But if we have a performance, something like that, that we need the extra space, these will actually swing back and kind of fold into the wall. So we would have all this room without these walls. So we wouldn't have to worry about finding a place to store the walls when they're not in use. They just go right up against the wall. And then the biggest thing on the front here is the pulpit over there. The plan is we would like to have it removed and replaced with a matching lectern like this one. And both lecterns at that point would be movable. So say we wanted to have a production or something where we wanted to put a lectern in the back, we could do that at that time. So it'd be more easily accessible for different things. If Stephen has a wedding, something like that, he can have something right in the middle with the bride and groom. So it'd be easier for a lot of different things that we do in this sanctuary. Scroll through. All right. Get through these pictures. All right, and then updated lighting. I don't know, Scott, do you want to come up and talk about the lighting? Because I know you know more about the quote than I do.
Yeah, several years ago, we changed all the lighting here in the sanctuary to LED, and the problem that we encountered since then is the dimmability of the lights and just the general lighting control. So we have entered into a contract with Allman Electric. They will be putting new rheostats. There'll be a control here and a control back in the narthex, so you'll never have to walk into a dark sanctuary. It's called DMX dimming capacity, which the lights would be able to be dimmed. All the lights in the chancel will be taken out and put in LED bars, and those will be white, but they will be able to change to a million colors. So like if you had a children's Christmas pageant or a concert or anything, you could change the lighting up here. The beautiful part about this is it can be in our program that we have upstairs, so that as the service progresses, it will automatically change the lights. You don't have to have any ushers. It can all be pre-programmed, so it'll make the room more universal, which is what we're trying to do with all the upgrades and the changes in the sanctuaries, to make it more usable for other things than just a church service. So I think that's about it for the lighting, but that should be done before the end of the year. You probably won't see a lot of change except for the front area here will be a little bit brighter. But other than that, it's just mainly control because we have an old rheostat back there that is probably, well, it's from the 50s. It hasn't been changed. So, you know, we can dim the LED lights now, but only to a certain point, and then they go out. And so this will vastly improve the ability of what we do. So that's it about for the lighting. And if anybody has any questions.
Yep. Yeah, and then the last thing on the lighting, because we wanted to be open and tell everybody what the bids were. This bid that we agreed with was close to $28,000 to redo all the lighting in this. So that fully came from the Harding grant. So that's one of, I think, 2 contracts so far that we've signed that we can give amounts for. And then next is repairs and repainting in this room. Excuse me. Sanctuary will be repainted. I think it's been probably 20, 25 years at least since it was painted, right, Scott? Somewhere right around there? Okay. Yeah, so it's long overdue just to give this room a fresh coat, a fresh look. We're going to try to accent the new flooring. Now, Katie has actually put over on the wall here 3 different color choices Katie Gross has that we will more than likely be choosing from, which will be just the accent walls in between all the windows. Everything that's painted that gray or tannish color right now will be repainted in one of those. So that's the colors that we're trying to choose from now. So, and then okay, and then obviously, like I said, with the roof, we'll repair all the trim moldings that are currently damaged, so everything will look hopefully like it was from day one, especially the moldings up there. We've contracted for the painting with Delta Industrial Painting, and that total bid amount is $30,575. Like the electric bid, that came completely from the Harding grant, and that is actually scheduled, I believe, Bruce, next week it's supposed to start, correct? So a week from tomorrow it is supposed to start. We'll choose a color, and they're gonna come in next week to start painting. So hopefully within a couple weeks we should have a fresh look as far as painting in this room. And then I think that is it for this room that we've discussed so far. So next, this is something that we probably will push off till 2023 just because there's some logistical issues that we ran into that were pointed out the other day at our meeting. Board or Worship Planning Committee wants to create a sacristy, and where that would go is the back room of the nursery, which is not really utilized too much right now. So our plan, hopefully at one point, will be to be able to access it right through this chancel hallway by putting a door in there. The thing we ran into is that those are both exterior walls, so we'd have to put in a large door in there, and it's load bearing, so we'd have to have an engineering firm in here. So we've kind of pushed that off to probably next year as of right now. But what would be in the sacristy, hopefully running water for a sink, storage for all the worship planning stuff. So everything that you would see in the sanctuary would be stored in that room and be a safer place than down the hallway. Yes, Bill? Yeah, sacristy, so for the use that we would use it for is for prepping communion, storage for board of worship or worship planning committee stuff. So the cloths, if we have special candles, things like that, all that would be stored in there. It'd be basically a worship prep space, I guess is the best way to describe it. So there would be a sink in there, and it'd also be a place for during weddings and funerals to have maybe family wait back there for funerals, or for weddings, have the groomsmen get changed and get ready in there so that they don't have to walk through the stairwell. They can just walk right out this door. So it'd be a little bit easier of use, because right now we have the groomsmen changed in the nursery, and then the family for funerals just is in here. So there's really no place for them to go have a private place right now. Oh.
And they have a structural engineer,
Yep.
part of their company, so they will be able to do everything and said there should be no issue.
Okay.
So, he's coming.
Awesome, thanks Pam. So what Pam just said is Genoda and Herner, the engineering firm that we had do the elevator last year, is coming out to look at, is bringing out an engineer to look at the wall in the sacristy to hopefully come up with a solution so we can get working on that. So thank you, Pam. And then the next thing on the list was the outdoor steps. I don't know how many people have noticed coming in, but the outdoor steps in the sanctuary have been repaired, the sandstone steps. They were getting worn because they have been here since the 50s, so they've definitely been getting worn. All the mortar was ground out and replaced, and the rounding on the edges of the steps were repaired, so it is actually nice corners now, so you're not slipping off, especially in the winter when it gets slick on those sandstone steps. So that is done. That was contracted with Advanced Masonry and Full Chimney Service out of, I think, North Royalton, and they did that for $3,375, that cost, and that came out of the Harding grant. And then next is, this is kind of we were having trouble finding contractors for this, but the retaining wall. I don't know how many people ever go down to the bottom shed, but there's the big hill down there. It's hard to get any kind of equipment, especially a lawnmower, as Scott knows, up and down that hill. So our plan was to put a retaining wall and kind of flatten that out. It's been hard trying to find a contractor to be able to do that. So we've pushed that off probably till next spring, because at this point it's outdoor work and it'd be hard to get done over the winter. So that's been pushed off till at least next spring. Hopefully we can find somebody willing to do that and work with us on that. And then new music room, which is already in progress. Excuse me. So what the plan is, well, we've already started on it, but we're renovating the old chapel to move the music room and the handbell room into that one area. It's already, the flooring's already come up, it's already been painted, new lighting's been installed. The only thing we are waiting on is we are going to put the polished concrete flooring in there. The biggest thing down there is to help with moisture issues, because it is in the basement, so we do have a moisture issue down there. So putting that concrete polished flooring would help with that, so there's not a layer of either carpeting or LVT flooring where moisture could get trapped under there. So we would contract with GK's Custom Polishing for the flooring, and the total bid for that room specifically is $7,385. And I know Katie is in the process of acquiring new storage for that room, cabinets, whatever the case may be, whatever she needs. And hopefully we can have the new music room ready to go by Christmas time. At least that's the goal. So. By Christmas time, hopefully sooner, but we just, pretty much the big thing is getting the flooring done. And a schedule for the end of November, Scott just said. So we should get that done, and then hopefully soon enough after that, music can move into there, and then and then they have that new space there. So, and then next is the new youth room. So the current music room would be renovated to the new youth room. We wouldn't start on renovating that until the music room is finished, and we can move stuff out of there for the music department. But the new youth room would be in there. The flooring is provided by Westside Koinonia, if I'm not mistaken. So they're gonna lay it down. It's already been purchased, and then. Also, there will be new or used furniture and fixtures will be purchased with money from the grant. So that includes the community outreach part of the grant that Stephen had put into there. So there'll be a new youth room. Hopefully, by the middle of winter, we'll have that done. So, and then I think that was it. Deleted some slides. I think that was it. So. Biggest thing, I deleted this slide, but I wanted to thank everybody who worked to get quotes. I know Bruce, Pam Worm, Scott Pritchard, And if I'm forgetting anybody, I apologize, but thank you. And Josh. So, and I had an organ thing in there, and I don't know what happened to it. Yeah. Oh, Katie. Oh, and got deleted off of mine. Oh, I got to read now. So organ, Josh, you want to come up here and talk about the organ restoration? Okay. You know more about it than I do.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of reed stops in the organ that do not hold a tune and don't sound good. So they will be cleaned and restored and voiced so they'll be usable, because I don't think that's been done since 1963. So that's part of it. And then also we'll be adding a new trumpet to the organ. And that involves not only getting new pipes, but also adding structural support for them and also a way to get air to them. So that's pretty involved. And that's the majority of the work to the organ. And there's a picture of part of the inside of it. It's very complicated. So if anyone has any questions about the organ, come see me or email me. So the first part of it, the cleaning and restoring of the reed stops that are already there, should happen in the first part of 2023. And then the new trumpet, it all depends on lead times from the manufacturer, which is up in the air.
So will the work be done between Christmas and Easter? Will the cleaning be done on Easter?
Hopefully, yeah. How long is the organ what?
Commission.
It'll never be out of commission. Yeah, it'll always work. There'll just be parts of it that are out for servicing. Yeah, so I think the reeds were cleaned, but when they were put together, they weren't voiced, and they're very picky about that. So that really needs to be done. Voicing means that each note in a rank of pipes, which is usually 61 notes, sounds consistent. So it has the same timbre, the same volume, and also part of this is getting them to hold a tune. So they're usable for more than a couple weeks after a tuning.
All right, and then so we've contracted with Holt Camp Organ Company out of Westlake for the work, and the bid amount coming out of the grant is, if I can read that, $65,500, if I'm reading that correctly. $69,500. It's hard reading that small print all the way back there. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it, Stephen. And did I have any more slides after that? I can't remember, because mine on my phone is gone. Okay, and the existing handbell room, which is room 2 down in the preschool, would be transitioned into a missions room. So for donations for like Lost Creek, Brenda Glass, any of those things where we take items for donations, they'd all go right into that room. So it's one place, so we don't have a kitchenette full of some stuff. We have the back room of the finance office full of Lost Creek stuff, so it's all one place, so there's one place to go for any kind of donation. And then the existing youth room, I'm not 100% on this, Stephen, but I think we were planning on transitioning it to a new meeting room. Oh yeah, that was going to be the new nursery, in addition to the family room, which is the old quiet room upstairs. So it'll be, instead of going up and down the stairs, you can just go right across the hall into the new nursery. So that's the plan for that existing youth room in there. I don't think we've thought that far ahead on that yet, because that's kind of at the end of the road. One of the last things we're probably going to do once a lot of this stuff is done. I think once Genoda and Herner are in here, we can ask them that, and that would give us a better idea of, if we can do that. We're not sure if that's load bearing or not, that wall, but I'm sure that we could, we can ask them and see, what that would entail, if that would be doable. So, and then, and the preschool updates, as I'm sure everybody's noticed who's walked down the hall, preschool painted all the hallways, all the classrooms in there, and they also have new smart boards in there, and it looks a lot fresher, a lot more updated. I know a lot of, according to Stephen, a lot of the parents the first couple days were happy to see it when they came in and dropped their kids off for preschool. I think one of the comments was they were wondering if they were ever going to paint in this hallway. So a lot of the parents did appreciate that. So it definitely looks a lot fresher down there, a lot brighter. So, but those preschool updates are done. So they are taken care of. Preschool is rocking and rolling already. So I'm trying to remember anything else on there. Oh, okay. All right. So, but other than that, like I said earlier, thank you to everybody who's gone and gotten quotes. Josh, Bruce, Pam, Scott, and I'm forgetting anybody. I'm sorry, but I think that was majority of people. So, what's up? Oh, all right. Any questions, Pam?
I just want to say the gardens, I know we promised you we wouldn't dig out those things till tomorrow, but because the weather was rain coming, we dug this week to beat the rain. So if you wanted any of the bushes that have been removed from the sign, they are under the trees outside Fellowship Hall, the stairs. If you don't want them, then they're going to get pitched, but that's where the plants are that we had offered. The plants that are still at the sign, we are going to keep there. We will renovate the rest of that once spring comes, so that we don't play with killing something because they didn't root enough before the freeze comes. Grass is planted in all the gardens that we've taken out and around the sign, so you will see the new outlook for that. Hopefully the grass will grow. I did not come up after Wednesday to water because they kept saying it was going to rain, so I'm going to go water.
All right. Thank you, Pam. Yeah, thank you. All right. Any Sandy?
I'd just like to offer thanks and our appreciation to the trustees and everybody else who has been working on managing this grant. As a former grant manager in my other life, it takes a lot of time, a lot of thought, and a lot of preparation. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Sandy. And any more questions?
I just want to, I think we all want that gratitude to Claire and the Hart who left us this foundation so that we can do things. And I think they would be very happy to see that we're bringing the church to the 21st century, making it grow. And I think we really, need to just say a prayer of thanksgiving for them to have such a place in their heart to remember the church.
Thank you, Scott. All right. If anybody has any questions throughout the weeks, months after this, just let any of us know, anybody that I mentioned, me, Bruce, Ken, on trustees, anybody, if you have any questions, please let us know. We want to be as open and transparent as we can with this process because we know it will change some things in here, but we hope it's for the better, and we want to make sure that, like Scott said, that this church keeps on growing and keeps on growing well into the 21st century. So thank you.